All right. Pat Bev back at it again. Friend of the show, maybe, I don't know. But Pat Bev is back with a new podcast, and he's already talking spicy and crazy. Not going to go into some of the behind the scene drama between him and his last, co-host, because that's all messy. But he's trying to get the ratings up for this new podcast because he talking crazy with some of these takes.
83 is as real as it gets, man. You can't wake up and just get 83. If it was fake, every motherfucker be getting those fake numbers. So no, you gotta give Bam a lot of credit, man. He did that, and I like how Coach Spo spoke up for him too. Y'all tripping, man. Y'all missing the point. Y'all missing the point. That 83 is real as it gets. Straight up, 83 is real as it gets. And he lucky Trey Young wasn't playing. Shit, he fuck around had 100.
Okay, all right. I see what type of podcast it's gonna be. All right, Pat Bam, I see what type of podcast it's gonna be. All right. Yeah, I agree with him. You already know how I feel about the whole Bam 83, but already coming at Trey Young's neck out the gate.
That we gonna start with that I've been having a debate to ask because I don't want to cause like a ton of controversy. But one of my teammates asked me this while we was on the bus. Like, Pat Bev, is Dame Lillard Hall of Fame? Hell no. Like I love Dame.
Man, we gotta stop, bro. We gotta stop. Hell no. Hell no. We gotta stop. And I seen this clip. The reason I'm actually on the channel right now because I want to hear everything he got to say. Y'all know me. We gonna get right into the realness. We ain't gonna be reacting to no clips. We gonna see the whole thing. Hell no is insanity though.
Promise you, I love Dame. There's no ill will, no beef with Dame at all. But like, Hall of Fame is like first off, I feel like we it's too many people getting Hall of Fame. You feel me? Like I feel like it's too many people getting Hall of Fame, right? Let me start off with that. Second off, like Hall of Fame has to be like a combination of like obviously points, rebounds, assists. It has to be a combination of like wins. It has to be a combination of playoff appearances, and it has to be a combination of championships. And right, like if we get like, how we gonna say no to D Rose getting MVP and say yes to Dame Lillard? You know what I'm saying? So like
what in the fuck is this nigga talking about, bro? Bro, what are you discussing? What are you yapping on, bro? What are you talking about? First of all, both of them might actually be in the Hall of Fame, but as much as, we all love D Rose around here, but brother, your argument basically is it's about a bunch of points, accolades, playoff appearances, bro. And as much as we love D Rose around here, bro, D Rose is basically just 3 years. The argument for Rose is 3 years. And so if you're talking about how you're going to bring up Derrick Rose in comparison, bro, Derrick Rose, man, this is a short. I'm gonna try to extend this as much as I possibly can, but this is less than a 400 game sample size where he's playing at the level that would consider to be a Hall of Famer. Derrick Rose, he does have an MVP, but he only has 1 All-NBA selection and 3 All-Star selections. That's it. Rookie of the Year, to be fair as well. While Dame, I don't even know, like I can't believe we're even going through this. Dame, 9-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA, Rookie of the Year. This man has gone, if you talking about scoring or just numbers, bro, from the time he got injured last year in Milwaukee up until 2016, Dame in a, 10-year span is a 27 point per game score, 7 assists, 4.5 rebounds, a steal, while shooting 44, 37, and 90 shooting splits, bro. What are we talking about right now? Dame is going to end his career scoring over 20,000 points, which, as a sidebar, I think everyone except for Joe Johnson and Antoine Jamison, every player who's scored over 20,000 has gone into the NBA, Hall of Fame, except for those two. I think those are the only two. So 20,000 points, 6,000 assists, almost 4,000 rebounds, and almost 1,000 steals. So I don't understand how that's even possible for Dame to do those things, and he's not going to make the Hall of Fame. And if you're going to talk about postseason success, understandably so, I think that's a legitimate ding to Dame's career. But Tracy McGrady's in the Hall of Fame, and T-Mac has same amount of All-NBAs, fewer All-Star appearances, never got the first round in his entire career throughout his prime, and he's in the Hall of Fame. So if we're going to talk about that, then I don't understand how we're even going to discuss postseason appearances and stuff like that when it comes to Dame, but Tracy McGrady's in the Hall of Fame. And then not only that, be very mindful, it's a basketball Hall of Fame. So Dame also having an Olympics 2020 Tokyo Olympics, he gold medal. That's an obvious he's going to be a Hall of Fame. So Pat is tripping. And it's so odd to hear NBA players that literally just retired talk about players that they just went up against. And instead of having admiration for somebody who was busting everybody's ass, because Dame was really him. It sucks. What's really bad about Dame is that he peaked at a point in time in NBA history where it was so difficult to make an All-NBA or get the proper recognition. And I would actually argue that one of these years, because it was him and Harden got snubbed. Yeah. In 2017, Dame averaged 27 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, and did not get an All-Star nor All-NBA appearance. This is the reason why when it comes to some of these awards, I don't really care too much about them, because you have to put into context what's happening in the NBA at that point in time. Another year matter of fact, his last 2 years, Dame is 24-25, 7 assists on really good shooting splits, especially that last season, and he's not making an All-NBA selection. So no, I mean, Dame provided probably 9 to 10 All-NBA caliber seasons. 9 to 10 All-NBA caliber seasons. One of the greatest scorers of his time in his era. One of the greatest three-point shooters ever. One of the greatest shooters ever. Has some of the greatest moments in a postseason because of what he was doing to Jokic and them. He was busting their ass. He dropped 55 on them. It was crazy. Matter of fact, it might have been more than that. But y'all know the series I'm talking about. Bro, and this man scored 70 plus points in a game. What are we talking about, bro? So, no.
If he get a chip, for sure, right? If he get a chip, for sure. But, like, scoring a lot of points on, like, you feel me, okay teams, you feel me? Like, I don't think that gets you into Hall of Fame. Like, Hall of Fame.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what this nigga is talking about. Okay teams, they were a playoff team damn near every single year. What are you talking about? And I'm so happy I actually watched the video, because I know a lot of people gonna be reacting to just the clip. Bro, the video, this is worse. This is far worse. Okay teams, nigga, they make the playoffs every single year.
I don't know. When as a person who would dream of being in Hall of Fame, right? That look at the players in the Hall of Fame, like, man, I wish I can be up there next to the logo, like Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, like James Harden, like Steph Curry. Like, you talking about people who've, like, done it at a high level and, like.
But James Harden doesn't have a championship either. What are you talking about? And let me be clear, Harden is better than Dame. But if you're going to sit here and say that Dame has to win a championship for him to be in the Hall of Fame, Harden doesn't have one either. So what are you talking about, bro?
The record books, you feel me? Like, I don't know. I just, you know, I know I said hell no, but I'm gonna just take the hell off and just say no. I don't think he's
Nah, don't walk it back now. No. Why are you walking it back? How you moonwalk back something that quick, my nigga? It's the same segment. So you don't went from hell no to just a no, man. No, stand on that shit, bro. Stand on it.
Hall of Fame. Not yet. I don't think he's Hall of Fame yet.
Now, on the timeline, he received a lot of backlash and pushback from behind this, especially because people started to also remember Dame is not only clearly Hall of Fame, he's top 75. He's one of the 75 greatest players of all time, and they deemed him that already. So how is it possible that you're top 75, but you're not going to receive the recognition of being a Hall of Famer? Shout out to Brandon Jennings. Shout out to my boy BJ. He said, if you're a top 75 in the NBA, you're a Hall of Famer. Pat Bev decided to say, that's cap. So Dwight Howard or Kyrie aren't Hall of Fame? I think I commented on this as well, if I'm not mistaken, because my goodness, the comprehension levels in America are just in the gutter. I have no idea how, because Dwight and Kyrie didn't make top 75, that all of a sudden associates them with not making the Hall of Fame. What he's saying is that if you're one of the top 75 players, you are clearly in the Hall of Fame, because the Hall of Fame is more than 75 players. And Dwight Howard, who's in the Hall of Fame but did not make the top 75, would further prove the point that the Hall of Fame is more than just the top 75. But if you made the top 75, you were very clearly a Hall of Fame player. I don't understand why that's so hard to comprehend. I'm not going to lie. COVID has done a doozy for Americans, because the comprehension levels are in the gutter. Saying that someone is top 75 equals Hall of Fame does not then mean, well, not top 75 means you're not Hall. That's not what that means, bro. Holy hell. But it doesn't stop there, because his D-Wade take got him in a lot of trouble.
But the question is, if James Harden gets an NBA championship, then where does he rank? Because there's been a lot of, what did they call it, debacle between top 3 shooting guards. If James Harden gets a ring, it's without a doubt. It's still without a doubt to me. It's Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and James Harden. But to me, if James Harden gets a ring, I think that solidifies it for forever. I think that closes all door of, okay, because the argument is always.
Oh, before he go, I want to say this. You sat there and you criticized Dame for not winning a championship. You've also criticized Trae Young for not playing defense. But there's a nigga that you're now trying to discuss between James Harden, who has a championship and he does play defense. And all of a sudden now you're saying that not only is he ahead of him, but he's ahead of him and he don't even have to win a championship for me. Brother, you are flip-flopping within a matter of minutes in one podcast, my nigga. In one podcast. I don't even know how that's even possible. And as a sidebar, he just got done talking about KD and Kawhi and picked Kawhi, and again was talking about defense. Now all of a sudden, when it's Harden and Wade, someone with no championship as a worst defender is somehow not as good as the other one. What are we talking about? I get it that you're biased because that's your teammate. I comprehend that. What are we talking about?
It's championship, and I've said this before. Championship is a team sport, right? That's a team accolade. It's hard to kind of pinpoint one person out on a team.
Man, fuck no. No. Nigga, you was the same one who went after Trae Young earlier this season talking about you can't talk to me because you ain't win as much. And then when you were trying to counteract this same nonsense about, oh, well, I was on these teams and they always did good when I was on the team. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm confused. I'm perplexed. This does not make any sense to me. You're now about to sit here and excuse the lack of winning from one individual because it's team, but then you've been planting your flag so much so that now all of a sudden it's teams. That's the reason why I can say whatever I want to say because I'm a winner. And Trae Young, you're not a winner. But now all of a sudden when there's another nigga that's not as much as a winner as somebody else, they're not as well. What are we talking about, bro? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna just let you in on a little secret, a little preview. Close your eyes and close your ears if you don't want a spoiler. This nigga D-Wade is about to put this nigga in his place because right now, I'm gonna be honest with you, Pat, you talking sideways. It doesn't make any sense.
Team accolade of winning the championship. Conferences matter. Obviously, D-Wade played in the Eastern Conference. No downplay from the Eastern Conference, but everyone knows the Western Conference has been one of the toughest conferences for the last, 2 decades, right?
That's true, but we're not talking about making finals appearances. We're talking about winning a championship. So when D-Wade made the finals, he still had to beat the team that came out of the West. So what are we talking about?
Everyone knows that. So if he does get a ring, I think that closes the door on all the extra argument of who's top three. And my original argument was he was top three anyway. And that is based on, for me, longevity, right? How long you can do something at a high level. I think that's always important. If he get a ring, I think that changes.
This is a fair point. If this wasn't the same individual who just told us that Dame, who been playing for 10 fucking years at a high level, cannot be a Hall of Famer, but then brought up Derrick Rose in comparison, I would actually agree with you, but you are contradicting yourself within a matter of minutes, bro. So now all of a sudden, longevity matters, but then Dame can't get in because D Rose should have got in, but D Rose doesn't have anywhere near close to the longevity as Dame. D Rose's longevity of all the guards that we've been talking about so far is easily the worst. I would agree with you. I think it's a very compelling argument, but all this time, this is what you've been talking about: defense, championships. And then on top of that, you didn't really care about longevity when it came to D Rose making the Hall of Fame over Dame. But now all of a sudden, when it comes to specifically Harden, championships don't matter as team success. Defense, he probably not even gonna touch on that. And then longevity now matters. Wow, Jesus. He has to do the podcast by himself now because of what happened over at Barstool. But this is the reason why, a lot of content in a general sense, when you're doing these type of discussions, it would be better off if you're sitting across from someone that is, I don't want to say completely combative, but someone who's informed enough at least to know to kind of hit you with follow-up questions. And it's part of the reason why, the podcast space, in my opinion, not Gillen because Gillen are pretty combative, but it's the reason why I'm not a big fan of a lot of player podcasts, because it's you'll say some crazy stuff and there could be a very interesting dialogue that comes about it, but the host is just all right, we'll just keep going to the next thing regardless of what the person says. So of course, as you can see how animated I am, everybody in the NBA world was also animated, and D-Wade just so happens to catch wind of this, and D-Wade also has a podcast. So let's see, what does he have to say? As a sidebar, if you get D-Wade responding to you, you talking sideways, bro.
We have all these comparisons about this guy's better than this guy's better. No. No one's a better basketball player than me.
Right.
In all of our minds. I don't think no one is a better basketball player than me. I think they had better careers because they had more, they were healthy.
Right.
Not because they were better than me. I don't think no basketball player is better. Can he score better? Can he dribble better? It's things that they do that's better. I don't personally believe any basketball player has ever been better than me. That's our mentality. That's the only way you become great. If you're stubborn like that and if you think that way, and people are probably like, you crazy as hell. No. He does things better than me. He's not a better basketball player. And so it's hard because the normal people who are having that conversation are not as good as the people that they're having the conversation about.
Fuck Pat Bev. This nigga is already out the gate talking crazy about you, bro. This nigga says slow your roll. And what's crazy is y'all are all like peers. Y'all all played alongside one another. This is not a second player in a year's time who told you know your role. Why are you coming to us with this nonsense when you're not as good as us? And you're trying to tell us what makes one player better than someone else. You're not in these convos. Calm down. Tough!
That is so true.
I don't understand how you can have a conversation about me and state facts when you're not as good as me. Like somebody that's in the room, we're in a room full of people who are just as good. Put me in the top 75 room, we can all have the conversations about I'm better than you.
Right.
So tell me why. If you ain't in that room,
if you LA Fitness 24 hours,
have it amongst yourself. Don't come out and act like this is factuals because your facts is. What are your facts based on? Your facts are based on your style of play, what you like to watch aesthetically.
I've never. That is, wow.
Yeah, Pat Bev came out and just talked about me and James. Another conversation with me and James. Pat just came out definitive. He was definitive. James Harden is better than Dwayne Wade.
Stop. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
Nigga, they about to go crazy. No, they about to, because he was already leading up, talking spicy about you, and then he threw you in the convo with these niggas. That's tough, bro.
Oh, he was definitive. He was very definitive in his answer, and I was just sitting there like, okay, Pat, what's your facts?
Right.
To say that someone's better, or just come out and say what I personally like, the style of play that I like to see.
That's a great way to say
X, Y, and Z. Don't you ever fix your mouth to say nobody is better than me when you wasn't better than me. Like
Hey, no, Pat. This is the second time. Bro, this is the second time someone done came at you crazy. As a sidebar, just in case people don't know, yeah, I do think that Wade is better than Harden. But I do think it's much closer than people want to give credence to. And so if somebody says that Harden is better than Wade, and I ain't got no problem with it. But I do think that Wade, because how short the window of his career was, and even within that window, he unfortunately dealt with a lot of injuries, people tend to just like forget who Wade was. That's the reality. And what's even worse than that, because I saw Jeff Teague make the same comment a couple of months ago about the same argument, like Harden and Wade. And then I'm thinking to myself, bro, Teague is acting as if like he wasn't in the Eastern Conference when this nigga was terrorizing a bunch of teams, including the Hawks. But then I realized Teague wasn't in the league when Wade was flash before LeBron came along. So he don't know what Wade used to do. Bro, there was a point in time where D Wade was eye to eye to Kobe Bryant, bro. In 08, 09, 2010, D Wade was in the same vicinity as Kobe and LeBron. In the same vicinity. In my opinion, those were the top three players. If LeBron better, cool. D Wade was not that far removed from LeBron and Kobe. He was third. And so when people sit here and argue about who D Wade was, love James Harden to death, putting up crazy numbers, and like Wade is saying, he was in a system that allowed him to do those things. But D Wade was looking eye to eye with some of your favorite players. That's how good he was.
You can't do that. Like, you talk about a better player, you're talking about every aspect of the game of basketball. You know how good I was at a lot of aspects of the game? But people like to see he didn't score 70 or he didn't score 60 or, he didn't get whatever the game that you like to see and you like, man, he a bad boy. We're all bad boys. None of us feel that the next person is better than us at the game of basketball. But what you like is what you like because that's what people like. They like people 6'6". They like people 6'7". They like people 6'8". They like people with handles. Whatever the case may be, but you can never say no one is better than me or better than Jordan or better than LeBron. Like, not better.
Right.
I like this player more. He did these things
that I like
better than.
I'm gonna disagree with Wade because I do think that even amongst like the top 75 players, there are players who just do more things substantially better than others that are considered top 75. I disagree with that, but I also understand where he's coming from. And to be also fair to Wade, he's not only supposed to feel like he's just as good as everyone else, but he's also not really supposed to have these conversations as like we've seen with like Jordan has also taken this approach as well, where these are conversations that we really are not even going to entertain with certain people, and that's a fine approach. But I'm going to just say, no, D Wade, you are better than quite a few motherfuckers. I'm gonna just keep it a bean with you. You are better than quite a few people. There are fewer players in front of you than there are behind you. Let's be honest with ourselves. Even if we were to consider top 75, if we were just only looking at top 75, there are fewer players in front of D Wade's name than there are behind him. Let's just keep it a bean. D Wade is on the upper half of the top 75, not the bottom half. So D Wade, you was that motherfucker, dog. And shout out to Harden, because Harden is that same way. It's not as if like I think one is like I agree that one is not like definitively better than the other.
But as a basketball player overall, well, we all cold. That's why we all in the top 75. So you're not in the top 75. Stop talking about the people in the top 75. I don't understand where this come from.
What we talking about?
As in better.
Right.
Like we all in there, and it's everybody in that top 75 is better at something than someone else.
Right.
But we all in that room for a reason.
Hey, talk your talk, baby. Talk your talk.
I ain't even no talk. This is just factual.
No,
like
okay.
I don't understand it. Like better? How is somebody better than? Oh, so you like that better?
No,
that doesn't make them better than me.
That is a great point.
So I don't understand that.
Okay, all right, we'll say that.
But I like Pat coming back, being back at the microphone. I like that something went viral, and I was a part of the conversation. I like Pat, but Pat, it did too. It's funny too when you see players who talk about your game. You're like, well, you didn't even experience. You experienced a portion of my game. When I
no. Hey, this is shit I be saying. Hey, talk to these niggas, Wade. Talk to them. Y'all niggas was around when Wade was next to Bron. You niggas don't know what Flash look like. You niggas don't know what it looked like when he coming downhill, dribbling between, attacking you Euro, going crazy nuts. He led the league in scoring while being one of the best guard defenders in the NBA. You don't know what that nigga, bro, Wade was locked the fuck in, bro. Wade was locked the fuck in. Anytime I get the opportunity, we can go ahead and do it because most of y'all don't know. And again, the argument of it didn't last that long, I get it. This nigga in 09 though, 30 points, 7.5 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block, my nigga. Yeah, he went in the playoffs in 2009. Who'd he go up against? It was the Hawks. This is the Hawks team. I was like, bro, don't you know Teague? But Teague wasn't on his team, so he don't know. It's 2010 though. He went up against the Boston Celtics. Top 5 defense. And you would assume with his limitations as a scorer, like he's not that great of a shooter as like Harden, you would think that he would suck. No, brother. Wade went against this team, shot 56% from the field on 33 points, almost 7 assists, 5.5 rebounds, a steal and a half, and a block and a half, bro. This man did this against one of the best defensive units in the NBA. And so when y'all sit here and talk about who Wade was, y'all only talk about who he was when he was playing next to LeBron. Bro, he has a whole career pre-LeBron. And who that player was amazing. One of the quickest first steps in the NBA. Great defender. Get to the basket immediately. The problem that I have with a lot of people now is that the argument when trying to adjust for, inflated era with stats and pace is that people only adjust for pace. They just say, okay, we're going to do per 75 or we're only going to use how many possessions and try to make it even. And so if you had this many possessions, what would you do with it? But the reality is that's not how it works, because not only are there more possessions in the last 10 years than there were back in 2010 and 2009, but also the way in which players play is different. If you are a guard and you're the best player on the team, bro, you're going to have the ball in your hand 99% of the time. That's just how it functions now. We've operated in this lens where if you're the best player, especially on the perimeter, they're going to put the ball in your hand. So you have way more leeway to dictate everything. Back then, that's not how it was, especially when the NBA was still trying to figure out what you would do with a combo guard. That's what they used to call them back then, where you're a 2 guard, but you're not tall enough to be 6'5", 6'6" like Kobe, but you're 6'3", 6'4", so you're taller than a point guard, but we don't probably want you on the ball too much because you're also a better scorer, and so we're going to put you at the 2, and even though you can handle the ball and initiate offense very well, because Wade could easily initiate offense. Matter of fact, he started his career as a point guard, and very early on, he got 7.5 assists pretty early on. even though you could do those things, we're still probably going to have you off ball and have somebody else dictate. And then we're going to run this type of offense to where maybe you get the ball sometimes, maybe you don't. You're moving off ball. And in my opinion, I actually think that's what makes Wade far better than what a lot of people give him credit for, because people try to ding him as like this massive negative spacer. But there's several times, because he could operate off ball, he was actually a pretty solid spacer. But again, wasn't the greatest three-point shooter? No, just was not a three-point shooter. Free throw shooter even as well for a guard, wasn't the greatest at it either. But one of the greatest slashers the league has ever seen, especially at his height and size. Crazy first step, really good defender, really good help and roam defender, weak side help, rim protecting guards. Like, it easily just checks off all the boxes from many aspects. Again, I think that from an offensive standpoint, yes, Harden is better, but Wade reached heights offensively that a lot of people just don't want to admit, and a lot of it translated into the playoffs as well. But, Pat Bev inconsistent about that. Also, D-Way, you beating this nigga backside in with this shit, bro. Again, Pat, bro, people telling you stop putting yourself in these convos when you're not as good as us, nigga. Know your role.
I was winning championship. You wasn't even around. You don't know who I am. You didn't get to feel the wrath. You didn't feel the wrath of me of young. Now, my career was hit by injuries.
Right.
And I still had a top 75 career, and I came in the NBA injured. You don't know the wrath of me as a player. You know a portion, and you still couldn't fuck with me then. But Pat is a dog. Pat is a good defender.
Yes.
Pat had an incredible career, but no. Certain conversations you can't have, bro.
Hey, the only reason why I'm reacting like this, because Wade is like ultra humble ass nigga. Like, even leading up to this moment, he dead ass was trying to be humble and like tiptoe around and then try to. So for me to hear him talk like this, he don't ever talk like this. I've never heard Wade talk this spicy. And that nigga's right, dog. He really was like that. He was really like that, bro. And also, as a sidebar, bro, him and Bron were on the same team with one another in 2011. And Wade was definitely better than Bron in that playoff run. I don't know what y'all need to hear. Wade was better than that nigga Bron in the 2011 playoffs. But it is what it is.
When you talk your shit.
I'm just telling the truth.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm a
as you
humble,
should.
calm, quiet person. But when I hear people utter that word better, I don't get down with better. I get down with you like this versus you like that. But you ain't never watched me play. You've never watched the entire game of me to know that this guy is better.
Wow.
Because if you do, then you know this motherfucker did everything. Matter of fact, he played multiple roles. He didn't just play this way. He played that way. Oh, damn, he played that way. Oh, damn, he played that way. Oh, he came off of. Oh, he was the greatest back cutter in the league at this time. Oh, he was the greatest off. Like, you can't be better than me.
Talk your shit, Wade. Talk your shit, Wade. That's, hey, nigga, he saying the shit I'm saying. Talk it.
One says about anybody who's great, definitely mine, because I know what the work I put in to my game, and I know what was asked of me and what was expected of me versus what I didn't need. I didn't need to do everything.
Right.
So when you're comparing someone in different eras of like, this is expected of this guy is put on this team, and in an era now where threes is his thing. I'm put on a team. I'm in an era where penetration is my thing. I'm not. The Heat didn't tell me, they were like, no, it's not that you can't shoot. Because if you can't shoot, you don't score 20-something thousand points. Is that we don't need this from you, and this is not the era that we in. Now it changed.
Yeah, it
and
did.
it evolved. And once it evolved, you got players who, man, they did that, and they cold at that. That wasn't an era that we were in to do those things. Like, I was in an era of touch that paint every time. So what I do, I became the best at touching
He touched that motherfucking paint every time. Bro.
that paint every time. So if I was in an era of shoot that three ball every time, I'm going to be one of the best at shooting that three ball every time.
Oh, this nigga is talking spicy. Hey, I didn't think you gonna get down like this. Nigga said if he wanted to become as good as a shooter as Harden, he would have did it, bro. But that's just not what was asked of him. He was asked to figure out different ways to operate, especially off ball. He was definitely asked to be more off ball, and he executed on that. That's tough, bro. That's tough.
And so, like, when people say it's better, it's like, what's better?
Right.
Someone's handle, someone's game, like, we know when they break it down. So, like, I hate that for myself and James because we're two totally different players. We have some similarities because James is more of a point guard than I am. James had that rock. Even right now.
Yeah, still to this day.
I came in, I played some point guard, but really I was a combo guard. I handled the ball sometimes, I'd be off the ball. I played off the ball way more than James. we're not the same player. So you can't say if we did the exact same things and someone's better, cool. We're not the same player at all. Really, if you go and look at our games, and so I hate when they always compare us to and saying he's better than him or he's better than him. Well, no, James a bad boy. James in the top 75 just like I am. James Cole, his career is still going.
Facts.
One of the greatest. I am too. You like his aesthetic better. Don't say he better than me.
Well,
Don't say I'm better than him.
Hey, I'm with it.
Yeah. Now, locker room talk, barbershop talk, that's what we do.
Yes.
But I'm just talking about overall, man, none of these dudes is better than the other. This dude do this better. We all cold.
Is this a green screen this nigga sitting behind? Hold on. I'm sorry, this is like the content creator in me.
This dude,
That is a green screen. Look at this nigga hand. Nigga, just put a TV. Nigga. Man, just put a fucking TV up there and call it a day. Hell, I didn't think he was gonna talk that crazy and that spicy. Bro, that's tough. And I think Pat start tweaking out on the timeline. Damn Flash, rent free. Truth is the truth. And you was wrong. I shoot the three way better than you. Our career 3-point percentage weren't even close. D-Wade shot a measly 29.3 from three. Pat Bev shot, nigga talking to himself in third person. Holy fuck, bro. Pat Bev shot 37.1%. 7-3 record against you also. Love, gang. Again, the nigga earlier on sat there and said team record is a team, that's a team accomplishment. Now all of a sudden he's going back to using records, which is so odd to me. And again, as you decided not to even listen to him, brother, you got the other side of Wade. I'm gonna tell you right now, Pat Bev, bro, Wade at his best, nigga, you not fucking with him. That nigga is running up and down the floor onto you, because I seen him do it to Tony Allen. I didn't see him do it to a lot of other players. You get pre-2011 D-Wade, that's a monster. That's a completely different individual, bro. And he is slaughtering. He is dog walking niggas up and down the floor, bro. Because he was really like that. Let's not ever get it mistaken. But also, damn Flash rent free. My nigga, you asked yourself the question, or you positioned a question to yourself to answer it because you wanted to get it off. What are we talking about? You said something, he responded to what you said, and now all of a sudden it's rent free. Nigga, no, fries in a bag. Hey Pat, if this is what you're gonna do, because I do see that you were bragging about the new viewership that you had posted and stuff like that.
Wakey, wakey, wakey. Eggs and damn bakey. Hey, I was on YouTube today, and I was trying to see how the Pat Bev pod, the new show, how it's doing. So I took a look at Hooping and Hollering, and I'm like, okay, they did 22 in 4 days. So, and I wanted to see how mine was doing. Pat Bev, and would you look at that? 21 in 4 days. I'm on your ass, hooping and hollering. Yeah, count your days. I'm on your ass.
Who's going to tell him, chat? Who's going to tell him? If we're going to be serious with ourselves, you dropped another episode and it did 9,000 in 4 days. Because these are your first two back and it's drama filled. That's the reason why these two got a lot of views. But brother, it's a no. I wish the best for you, Pat. If you need some counseling on YouTube and stuff like that, I do have a small fee and I could potentially help out. I say all that to say not even really shit too much on Pat Bev. And Pat, if you see this, just know that brother Jason Williams, he bullshitting about why you can't be on that show again. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna just leave it at that and we're gonna call it a day. But Pat Bev, you tripping though. You are tripping.